Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today is Saturday the 19th of August and it's a very, very humid and hot day. Nevertheless, I'm inside and we're going to talk today about crochet and dollhouse miniatures. Also incoming, a book and why you should always check for dimensions before ordering something. But first let me show you a bit of footage which I took while I was out eating in a local old historic mill, and I hope you will enjoy a little glimpse into my home. Well, I'm not living there, but the area where I live.
Saw her up on the hill, on her way to the mill, proud and all out. But where are you now?
I hope you've enjoyed that. And now let's move on to works in progress. Last time I've shown you a little glimpse of the Unsea blanket. I don't know if you caught this. I didn't announce it in the section of my whips last time, but I had it in one of my intro videos, I believe. Intro or outro videos. And it's a free pattern. You start in the middle with a little crochet flower. And then you turn it into a square, like this one. And then you join your squares and it becomes a nice blanket. So what I'm using is all my little bits and bobs which I still have left. I've got a whole bag of leftover yarn. And this is all fingering weight yarn. And so far I like it. This will be a very long-term project. But I like the look. I saw it on Woodland Wardens podcast, not the last one, a bit before that, and she makes her own yarn, she dyes her own yarn, and obviously her yarn choices were brilliant. She is more in the moody kind of yarn colors, but I try to coordinate mine a little bit as well. But these are mostly the colors which I don't join in for garments and things, so yeah, it's a challenge. As my border color, I'm using the leftover yarn from my Vesuvius tee, which is just slightly heavier than the fingering weight yarn. I would call it a sport weight yarn maybe, but it shall stretch itself out well enough. So that's my first work in progress, the Unsea crochet blanket. I will link the free pattern in the show notes. You can start making a production line like I have. The smallest bits are going to be your center flower, and then you can take the 10-gram minis from advent calendars for the square, and yeah, some leftover yarn with a bigger quantity for joining. My next work in progress is a huge one. It's a garment, and it's my Mosaic Cardi. The pattern is by Sandra Gutierrez, who's Nomadstitches. I'm a huge fan, as you already know, and I am a member at playful.com, her new website, and this is the pattern which I've chosen for my first month fee. You pay a monthly fee as long as you have subscribed to it, and in return you actually get a pattern. You can choose one from her patterns, so it's a win-win situation. I've started this project using my leftover yarn from the ranunculus, and yes, I've ordered more. The pink is no longer available, but I was able to get the beige color of a ranunculus which I showed you last time, and also I've bought some lighter pink and some rust color, and I finished the first part of the back, and now I've started making the shoulders. So you start making the back of the cardi. I'm using a thicker yarn, and therefore I'm also using a bigger hook size, but I'm making the smallest size as per pattern. I'm making size 1, and I am also adjusting the increases. I stopped the increases earlier so that I won't end up with a humongous cardigan. I am actually holding it against my body so that I know how to adjust it, when to increase and when to decrease, and when to just go with the same number of stitches for a while. So let me just show you the back. This is where you start here at the back, the neck, and then I work down and further down, further down, further down. And now I've stopped my back for now. I haven't actually read the whole pattern yet, but I believe the construction is that you work the first part of the back until you reach under your arms. Then you work the shoulder area, which is right here for me. And the keen-eyed among you will see that I actually switched the colors. Here my main color is beige and the accent color is pink, and I actually turned them around. So here my you know what I mean, but I don't mind. I actually like it like this. It's like a bit of a mix-up of positive and negative look of this pattern. It's the same pattern here, I believe. And yeah, I've added the 2 shoulder parts, and now I will work on each front separately, adding some shaping to the front bits so that I will be able to close the cardi in the front. And I believe that the size is just right for me. It's at the moment it's like this, and obviously I will also add a neckband later. So this is going to be my mosaic cardigan. I like the pink accent at the top, but I also like that the rest is more subtle. This here, this works more together than the pink. I like it like this. And I believe that, or I know that in the original pattern and sample, she had one sleeve in one color and the other sleeve in a different color. I quite like this quirkiness. So I might, if I have enough pink, I might make one sleeve pink and the other in this color. I'm not sure yet what I will do. Maybe it's too much pink. Maybe I will make two light colors. I don't know yet. But let's talk about the sleeve once I'm there. I would think that once I've added the front parts to the same length as the back part, I will then join them and work the rest of the cardi as one big panel. But maybe not. I haven't read ahead in a pattern, but I would think that this is the most likely construction. Also, I thought I've got so much yarn now, I might as well not make it a cropped cardi, but continue with one of these patterns or changing the patterns and making like a coat. So a long garment to wear as a statement piece. Maybe. I really do love these mosaic patterns there, that one and that one. These are my favorites. I really am enthusiastic about this project. I can't stop looking at it. I can't stop touching it. Last night I've been working on it after 10, and yeah, it just makes me very happy. Look at it. Yeah, so that's my mosaic cardigan. So now let's move on to dollhouses and incoming. Let me first show you some miniatures which came from the UK. This is from an Etsy seller who's called ZJMiniatures. And I am in quite a Halloween and autumn mood already, so be warned. This episode is full of pumpkins. But first, some furniture. You've seen my dollhouse furniture. My dollhouse is in the ratio 1:12, and I got a whole selection of vintage, second-hand furniture, and somehow I wound up with 3 sofas in dark red, which all look the same. And even though they really are lovely, I thought a bit more individual style would go nicely. So I bought 2 upholstered, well, one is a sofa, the other one is a chaiselong, I would say. So let me just show you what I've got. So this is the first one, a beautiful, beautiful sofa, dark wood, upholstered with lovely fabric. I think this will be perfect. Perfect for my Edwardian dollhouse. I love it. I really do. So I'm very happy about that. From the same seller, I got this one here. Isn't that a beauty? Also very happy with that one. I thought I might exchange it, like put these in my dollhouse, and then I might try to upholster my red sofas in a similar kind of fashion. I mean, I can use some fabric glue to glue some nice fabric on it, and I can paint the wood in dark, and then I would get something similar. I really like these looks. From the same seller, I got some wooden signs to put up for Halloween. Here, Hello Pumpkin, and there's an extra William Morris design cushion. I'm really looking forward to styling my whole dollhouse for Halloween, for autumn, really, my favorite season. And then I've got from the same seller a little iron, so really heavy cauldron, which says boo. And there are sweets in there. Can you see that? There's Haribo and little beads, which are supposed to be sweets. So I'm going to put this cauldron up in the hallway. Really cute. Let me show you some other things which I've bought. First of all, this one here. I will put the name of this artist up on the screen or down below in the show notes as well, this is also a display for Halloween, for the kitchen. It's a little pumpkin scene where someone is carving out the pumpkin, including knife and spoon, and it's all on a paper, on a newspaper. Is that now in focus? Really cute. So I will put this in the kitchen. Then I've got from the local DIY market a little parcel with miniature pumpkins. Not a parcel, a little bag of miniature pumpkins. These are, I think they are styrofoam, but they will do nicely. I can place them all around the dollhouse. They have the right size. Then I've got a little pocket bear. I've already got one little bear, but this will be nice as well. It's another edition for my dollhouse, just like a teddy bear. It came with a little note saying, "Sending you a bear hug. I'm a little pocket bear. Squeeze me tight when feeling blue. I am here to give you strength and warmth that will help to get you through." So you could actually give these as a gift to someone. But in my dollhouse, they will just be on a bed somewhere. Then I've got little gingerbread men. I placed already a couple of those in my witch hut on the baking tray, but these are left over and I will place them, I will keep them for the Christmas dollhouse display, I believe. And then I've got little things to addition. This is like for the fireplace. This belongs there. I've got 3 of those. And then I've got some glass bottles. I think they are glowing in the dark. So also for the witch hut or for Halloween. I've got some books, a whole pile of books here for the dollhouse. 2 of them have interesting covers. One is a Georgette Heyer romance novel, and the other one is a classic. It's The Picture of Dorian Gray by Sir Oscar Wilde. Perfect also for Halloween, since it's a horror story. Yeah, so some books. And then, yeah, I thought about styling my Mystery Woman doll in a bit of a witchy outfit. So maybe I can take this thing, take it apart, use the head for the doll. Maybe I'll have to paint her face green, or she's quite run down. She was secondhand. So I can just try my own things. I think this would be like a nice top, this fabric here. It's pumpkin themed and a little ruffle around her neck. So let's see what we can do with that. And then I've got a mummy, a real sarcophagus. It opens up and there's a mummy inside. And you can take the mummy out. And this is how the mummy looks like without the wrapping. Not too scary, it's just, yeah. I don't know if this was protection so that it doesn't rattle around in the sarcophagus, but I also like it as just that it's an extra layer of, I don't know what. So I do know about quite a horror story about a vampiric mummy. And I might read this to you if you are willing to listen to me butchering a story with my German English. But I quite like this story. I have it as an audiobook, and it's including the ghost detective, or however you want to call him, called Flaxman Lowe. So this is something for the Halloween season, including a mummy. And then I already said to you, always check for the size when ordering something online. So I saw these very interesting and perfectly spooky photos, framed photos, which are of an Edwardian gentleman, and then we've got, let me just see, an Edwardian lady, and they look perfectly normal and fine from one angle, but from the other she looks like a vampire, and he does as well. So I thought they were the size for my dollhouse, but they're actually much, much bigger. So let me show them to you. This is the lady as she looks normal. And this is how she looks like when you turn the photo a little bit. She's a vampire. You see? Normal. Vampire. So this would have been perfect for my dollhouse. But where do you put these? Unless you are actually throwing a scary Edwardian ghost party around Halloween. You see? Let me show you a gentleman. Edwardian gentleman. Edwardian vampire. Scary! Do you hear the baby of a neighbor screaming? It's not me, it's not your psyche. He does look a little bit like Branson from Downton Abbey, unless you turn him to this side. Scary. So these are Edwardian, and they obviously also had an ancestor who probably turned them into vampires. A lovely, lovely lady. Long time dead. Woo. So I really love these macabre things, but I would have loved them to be in my dollhouse, not in my normal passageway. I will use those somewhere. I think they are hilarious. Feels like you're in a scary house. Let me take her out of this wrapping. This is her again. Normal woman, scary skeleton. Normal woman, scary skeleton. Yeah, so cool, but also total fail. Now, are you ready for some more incoming? Totally non-related to dollhouses or crochet. I'm sorry. You're here for all my shenanigans, or you just switch off. I don't mind. There is an illustrator called Jessica Rue, and she created a lovely set of tarot cards called Woodland Wardens. It's a 52 card oracle deck, including a guidebook. Now, this is the box it came in. I have a suspicion that this is not the original, but someone copied it. So I'm very sorry, Jessica Rue, if you are the artist. I hope that by showing this to you, you will not buy this one, but the original one, if it's still available somewhere, because it's really, really beautiful, and maybe by kind of advertising for this card deck, I can repay her back, and if I do find another copy, I will buy the original actually, because yeah, I just don't want to buy some wrong things. So 52 cards without any particular order. This is the raccoon and sycamore, which stands for curiosity. Oh, this will be a silly game of focusing. But I hope you can see this if I do it like that. And let me show you really beautiful ones. They're all very beautiful. This is the snail and huckleberry. It stands for trust in the invisible. The ram and dahlia stands for determination. The finch and peach stands for romance. Yes, please, always up for a good romance. The quail and gooseberry stands for anticipation. The opossum and peony stands for bashfulness. The owl and hop stands for wisdom. The duck and chrysanthemum stands for luck. The cat and lavender stands for independence, of course. What else? Independence. And last but not least, the bat and hellebore stands for intuition. So all these beautiful 52 cards, I haven't shown you everything, but they're all really, really, really beautiful. I highly recommend this oracle set of cards. And since we're already here with an oracle card set, let's draw something. Do I believe in this? No, not really. But also, I'm always in for something like this. There's nothing to lose. Mix it well. And what's in store for me, I suppose? Oh no! Although, the snake and fern starting over. So, there are changes coming up in my life. Maybe it's a good sign. Maybe not. But let's think positive here. Last but not least, what I also wanted to show you, apart from all these childish things, let me show you some more childish things. I've bought a book today, quite unexpectedly. I went to the local, actually went for a breakfast with my mother. I had a voucher from the best cafe in town, and I went there, invited my mother along, and we were early, so I went to the bookshop on the opposite side of the marketplace, and I bought this book, which is In 80 Days Around the World by Jules Verne, and it's classic. Obviously you know it already, I would think, but they have started this publisher, which is Coppenrath with a C. They've started to print the books as they used to print books, with gold lettering and a heavy hardback. And if it's in your bookcase, you will see here beautifully there are Jane Austen books, Jules Verne books, there is Rebecca, and there are more coming out. So I wanted to buy Persuasion from Jane Austen, but they didn't have that. So I bought this book, which is a beautiful adventure with Phileas Fogg, who's having a bet with his colleagues from the Reform Club that he will be able to travel around the world in 80 days in eastward direction. So once all around the world. And you would say, oh, that's nothing complicated. But this story is not in time for commercial flight and all these kind of transportations, but I think this is 1800 and something. It's London, 1872. And this whole book is also full of illustrations, which are really beautiful. I mean, let me show you the first one here. London, 1872. And you get the story, and you get all these little quirky illustrations in here as well. But not just that, there are little cards in here, like this one showing the Reform Club as it really existed back then, with an explanation on the back. And here is a bit of explanation about Jules Verne, a photo of him, the author of the book. And on the back there's also George Francis Train and Edgar Allan Poe. I think these were authors who wrote stories at the same time. You get some information about the Suez Canal. There's the Suez Canal in an old picture, and on the back you've got a map, and it says when it was built and everything. So after 10 years it was opened on the 17th of November 1869. There are lovely illustrations in here. I loved the 3-part series with Pierce Brosnan as Phileas Fogg. I think that's a 1989 version or something. Here is a bit about Kali, the Indian goddess. It does have a bookmark in the form of a ribbon here, so you always can mark where you stopped reading. You get the rules for playing whist. And if you've read the story or watched any of the TV or movie versions, then you know the twist in the story. But this book costs 30 euros, which is not cheap, but this is an heirloom, really. So very happy with my purchases. And no, I'm not always buying things, even though you see me showing to you quite a lot of things, but yeah, I will have a look, and I will try to get Persuasion. I will see if Amazon has it or another book company, so book selling company. So in the meantime, if you've got this classic somewhere in your library, then maybe you would like start reading it. It is a wonderful story. Or if you don't want to read, then maybe listen to the audiobook or rewatch the series with Pierce Brosnan. And Phileas Fogg has a servant called Passepartout, and in that 3-part TV series, he's played by Eric Idle, member of the Monty Python circus comedy group. Excellent. And Sir Peter Ustinov as the Detective Fix. Brilliant. So now, that's all from me. If you were here for the crochet only, you might not have seen all the other bits, but maybe you are like me and you're not just a one-trick pony. So I will go downstairs, see my family, spend a bit of time with them, and I hope that you will enjoy your weekend, and I will see you soon again. Bye.